Don't you say that?
Let's go. Let's do
Oh gosh.
The doors of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you name it, we cover it from the world of singles to the behind the scenes of the greatest movie ever filmed, called Marriage. We dig into everything from dating 101. Why won't they commit? It's complicated. I can't do it if it's the three of us. They're a good person, but I'm not attracted to them in that way. 2, they really didn't disclose who they were before I said I do. How do I do this if they can't keep a job? The bills are paid, but the bedroom is suffering. Did I marry you or did I marry your family because we only can take care of us? Let's open up our marriage. Why do I have to buy into your beard gang illusion? You could have told me you were down low and we could have remained friends and not married. And last but not least, did you marry me or your pastor? Have we gotten your attention yet? If so, tune in to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to hear more of today's real issues in the world of love. The doors of the Love Church are now open.
Greetings, and welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. I'm your host, Charles Dixon, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Adam Ford.
What's up, fam? How y'all doing on this Thursday afternoon? Good to see everybody. Good to hear everybody. Hope everybody jump up in the comments and everything like that. So, yep.
Yeah. Really? Okay. Don't y'all pay him no attention. He just being petty today. But anyway, he just got to be petty today. Anyway, everybody has been great. It's been busy, man. Busy. Apologies for, we typically don't be late. Apologies. But anyway, all right. So how has life been for the sir?
Everything's been good, man. Been busy. We both closing in on this book to the place where it can get published and we can go hard with our publicity and marketing and advertising. I'm looking forward to actually getting this thing put to bed and put it out in the wild so all of our friends and family can see it and they can see what we've been working on behind the scenes for a little while now. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Well, yeah, it's been a productive journey, I must say.
Yeah.
It's good to at least be, for me, I don't know about you, but it's good to be at the point where you're not writing no more. I'm over that part because you would not let me rest.
I mean, hey, it's like this, bro. It's like this. Now, if I wanted to write a book on my own, I could have. Yeah. But I was like, nah, I want my brother in on this one. Let's go. Let's do it. And if it means I got to crack the whip, that means I got to crack the whip.
Ooh,
just do what you're supposed to do. That's what the show's about us. The show's about us today in our relationship.
Yeah, about us. We fighting today. That's what
about us today. We fighting today.
Yeah, that's it. Oh Lord. Okay, so let's see. Today's show is going to.
You want to tell them about your other news? The reason why we kind of like intermittent. No. Okay, fine. I won't say.
Yeah, that news come up in time. Yeah.
So
somebody always ready to put somebody on the frying pan.
Like you don't put me on the frying pan. Like you don't put me on the frying pan. Listen, y'all. Like I said, today's show is about us.
Oh gosh, but no, man, everything is all good. All right. So today we're talking about the cause and the effect, the reasons why we are here. And what that means is we're talking about the state of a lot of relationships. And a lot of times we find ourselves in less than ideal synergies most times because, things have occurred or have not occurred in the relationship and has left one party or another feeling away. And let's just be honest. Let's just be clear. This is probably one of the most petty eras of relationship I've ever seen in life. When I say all across the world, you see people will withhold, not give, not say, not support, shut down, step out, come back, look at your career, all because of people saying, whether it's a man or a woman, well, this is a reaction to your action. So today we're talking about, does every action deserve a crazy reaction of some sort or a selfish reaction? Do we ever get to a point where we don't allow actions to drive our emotions? You know what I'm saying? We still have to be reserved, irregardless of what anybody does. You still got to be collected, calm, so that you can make sound decisions in the amidst your chaos. So I'll start it with that, sir.
Okay. So that's actually an interesting question. And I'm probably going to get a little, maybe a little clinical, maybe a little technical with this. So here's the thing, though, right? So being in a relationship being in a relationship, you're going to be introduced to a new dynamic in terms of how you relate to this particular person, because this is not like the previous relationship.
Mhm.
It's a new relationship, which means there's going to be a whole lot of new things that happen as a result of your interactions with this new person. You don't know this person. They don't know you. They don't know your upbringing. They don't know your experience. They don't know where you came from. So, in the relationship, you're going to have these interactions with each other. And often some of those actions are going to provoke a reaction.
Mm.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I would even dare say that this is how relationships develop. This is how the relationships grow. Even further to that point, this is how we learn our person, through the actions and the reactions of the dynamics of that relationship. And so, yes, you're going to have those moments of cause and effect. You do this, and as a result of you doing this, I'm doing that. Now, the question comes in, whereas if you do a certain thing, how do I interpret that thing? Not only how do I interpret that thing, but it also determines what I'm going to do or how I'm going to behave as a result of your action.
Mm.
In my own mind, I have this philosophy. There are two things that I can do when it comes to dealing with my person
Mm.
based on their action. I can either, one, have a reaction to it, and I'll quantify this reaction. The reaction is more or less based on a spontaneous emotional response to an outside stimuli.
Mm.
Okay, just to kind of get technical with it, or I can have a response to your action, which means in my response, I'm being more contemplative. I'm being more meditative. I'm actually not responding based on my emotions, but I'm taking a moment to assess the situation for what it actually is, and I'm responding in an appropriate manner to bring us to a hopefully positive conclusion at the end of this. Now, I believe that all of us have this choice to make when it comes to certain things that happen in our relationships. You know, something doesn't happen the way that it's supposed to happen. Somebody's late. Maybe a bill payment gets cut, gets missed, and something gets disconnected, or maybe you were seen out with somebody, and it wasn't what it appeared to be. Was actually something else. Well,
Mm.
all of us have two choices. Either we can react based on our emotional state, in a way where we're allowing the external to determine what our internal does, or we can respond. we can take a step back, be a little more pragmatic, be a little more less emotional, and come at it with an answer that actually brings us to a solution.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, my whole point is this, is that you're going to have moments in your relationship that aren't going to always make you happy. You're always going to have a cause. You're always going to have an effect. Well, my point is this: the cause and effect doesn't have to be as random as we think it should be, or as we think that it is. We can have some agency, some control as to how this thing is driven, our cause and effect, if you will.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. You made a key point. Is you talked about basically, I think that key thing in there is a lot of times our reactions are based off the presence or absence of happiness. And I
Okay.
think how we manage that expectation is the key here. It's like a lot of times, I would say how we manage it. And the other part I would say is we have to kind of quit with this blame game and take ownership. I think
Okay.
the reason a lot of times we end up in these situations where we clapping back or matching energy or doing whatever it is, somewhere along the lines, we forget that nothing just arrives from a singular path in a double dual relationship. If it's two people, 9 times out of 10, two people bear the ownership of the issue. It may be different sides of it. It
Mhm,
may not be as or as sum totaled as the other, but
mhm,
you own some ownership in it. And
yeah.
I think a lot of times in nowadays, when things go awry, we're quick to say we're here because of you solely. I had nothing to do with it. I'm the good person in the relationship or the marriage. I didn't do this. We're only here because of, let me run down this list of offenses that I feel in my mind are
Mhm,
why we got here. And I
right.
think when you start off like that, you are, it's like being the crash dummy at the Ford plant. You're gonna have a bunch of accidents. You're gonna look crazy in the process. So,
Right.
you gotta be honest with yourself and say, listen, yes, we're all human, and yes, we are reactive. If you remember back in the old days, you would see those kind of comedy shows where it shows a doctor with a little rubber mallet hitting your
Oh
knee.
yeah, you're hitting your knee. Right. Well, that's a reaction. Yeah.
This is how we are in relationships.
Mhm,
Somebody touches you up, what,
mhm.
wait,
Right.
and we so reactive. I mean, even to the point now where we're so sensitive, you can't even say anything. Like you can't say nothing to people. Like you
Mhm,
can't have those conversations of old where it may not come out good. You may not like how it sounds, but it's good for you, right? You can't have nowadays, if you're honest, if you're a little too honest, people are either, if you're the man, sometimes you get too irate and upset and all over the place. Sometimes if you're the woman, it's already a bunch of tears and crying, and it makes it difficult to get through those difficult conversations, right?
mhm,
Because
mhm.
you don't want to keep on pressing on a wound if it's really starting to gape,
Right.
right? So you try to be sensitive, but in order to fix it, you got to get through it. And so I just personally feel like if we are going to grow in the space of dealing with this blame stuff and dealing with this cause and effect, there gotta be some growing up. Like we gonna have to own up that we didn't we this relationship didn't arrive here just by the onus of him or her alone.
Right.
It took two of us, and we gotta own up to why we are where we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah. That we move away from blaming each other and move in the direction of actually owning what we have done, um, and actually, being honest with ourselves that we have contributed to the condition of the relationship as it is, you know. And I've even said in times past, in my own personal life, if I'm having a moment of transparency, that in my previous marriage, I had to take responsibility, or rather, you know, take the blame for some of the things that happened in our marriage. The reason being was because I wasn't married to myself. I was married to somebody else, which means they had a part and I had a part to play. And it would be ridiculous for me to sit here and be like, oh, she didn't do this and oh, she didn't do that, and if she had done this more and if she had done that more, then maybe we'd still be together. Fool, are you serious right now, Punk? Really?
That's usually what everybody does. It's always never just the one person. It's like, oh, you know what? That ended because they wasn't doing this.
Because they wasn't doing whatever. But here's the question, though, right? And you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, what did you do to contribute to your present situation? Or rather, what did you not do that contributed to your situation? And you have to be honest with yourselves. I find here in these days and times, Charles, that we have a aversion and we are allergic to the truth, especially when it comes to ourselves. You know, there's this thing now where we talk about my truth and your truth, but we forget about absolute truth.
The absolute truth, that's it.
Which is the actual truth of what happened. The reality is that the other, you know, my ex-wife had a part to play, but I also had a part to play. All of the blame is not on her. All of the blame is not on me. We both share in this. And I think we don't want to own and really like be honest with actually saying, I messed up. I blew it. I made a mistake.
Why do you think we do that?
Why do I think what?
That we do just what you're saying.
Because we want to. Okay. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one would be the fact that, okay, you know, if you're married, you don't want to, at least from in my thinking, I'm probably pulling this out of order. But on one end, particularly, you know, on one end, you don't want other people to look at you differently because your marriage failed. You have peer pressure. And I know we don't want to necessarily talk about it being, 45, 50, 60 years old. We don't talk about peer pressure, but ladies and gentlemen, peer pressure still exists in ages. You know, we talk about it in high school, we talk about it in middle school, but we don't talk about it on the job. We don't talk about it, in the church. Hey, we don't talk about it in our social circles, but peer pressure still exists. And you might think that you're not under it, but in reality, you probably are under it in some degree. I say that all to say that often, sometimes, when it comes to us not wanting to really own up to it, is the fact that we don't want people to look at us differently. We want to always have that image that we have portrayed to people in their minds. You know what I'm saying? God forbid that they should actually see us as we actually are and not how we portray ourselves as. I think another reason why sometimes people we don't want to admit, and I think we were talking about it in regards to a marriage failing, is the fact that we believe that, you know, we can make it work. We can make it work. We can make it work. Well, yeah, we can make it work, but I can't make it work.
Yeah.
You can't make it work. If we're together in this, we have half of a chance to make it work.
If we own it together.
We own it together. But if we're not on the same page with this, if we're not walking in the same direction with this, if we're not speaking the same language to be able to understand one another, then we can't possibly make it. And again, you know, we can't possibly do what we need to do in order to make things work. You know what I'm saying? And again, my thing is this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to kind of move on from this point, is that we have to, it's not just about blaming the other person. It really isn't. And not even so much as about blaming yourself, because I think I need us to move from the whole idea of blame, and I need us to move into the place of responsibility. Because Responsibility says I'm willing to respond to whatever the issue is with my ability. That's what responsibility is. Responding to the issue with my ability. That's what it is. And it's being able to address whatever that issue is that we have according to whatever ability that we have to be able to answer it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about just blaming stuff. We can all blame each other. We can blame ourselves, but blame doesn't do anything. Blame just sits there in self-guilt. Blame just sits there and literally complains. Blame sits there and it murmurs. It doesn't do anything. Whereas responsibility, the very idea of it means I'm going to proactively do something about my situation. I'm not going to sit here and allow it to continue to be as it is, but I'm going to at least effect some type of catalytical change to bring about a reformation within my relationship.
Wow. The word of the day I hear, Adam, is viability.
Okay.
And I say that because the by and large reason a lot of people do not want to take responsibility in marriage or in a relationship, it is because being viable is saying I'm admitting failure. I'm admitting a bad decision. I'm admitting offending you or saying the wrong thing. And what that does in most people's minds is now places them in positions of less than viable candidates should marriage X or should relationship X not work out.
Okay.
So the more you feel bad, the more you take ownership, the more you look at yourself like, I'm really not that good in love as I thought. Really not a good husband or a good wife as I thought. I'm not a good partner as I thought. I don't make the best decisions. All of these different things. And so I think this is the reason why a lot of times we fight like we in a whole war to manage our facades of ourselves. This image, like you said earlier, the peer pressure.
Yeah.
Everybody in that brother has problems in relationships or marriage, whether it looks good, successful or not. Everybody has it. But guess what? We don't want anybody outside these walls to know. So you're going to go down here to this church and you're going to shut your mouth and don't you say nothing. Don't you tell sister so-and-so that I fussed with you this morning or cussed you out or nothing. You get this image ride. And we do the same thing in the secular world. In relationships, people get on social media, hey, boo-boo, look what you did for my birthday. But you didn't say you called her a B before the party.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we don't talk about, or you cheated the other day, or you did all these things, but we live for the moment to look good. As long as we can be well represented, we look good. And so this is why people struggle internally to admit where they have fallen short or have not done their best part on their person or not, because it puts too much light on their insufficiencies. So this is the struggle of making this work. We got to be honest and say, listen, I've seen you with your wig off. So just be honest with me, right? I'm just making an example. Like whenever our partners see us at our most vulnerable places and positions, then let's be just as vulnerable in relationship and in working these issues out. Like we don't have to keep a facade up all day, every day. That's not a relationship to me. That's a talent show where we're preparing to just put on for everybody watching us. Let's just see who we are regularly and see how that goes. It's a lot of work to put up a facade and not be honest with your partner.
Yeah, it is. Especially here's the thing though, Charles, especially if you're married to him. How do you do that day in and day out, putting on this mask, this costume to hide your real self from the person that you're supposed to be revealing your real self to? You got to go through a whole makeup routine in order to cover up all the scars, all the bandages. You got to do all of this stuff to put on this, like you said, this facade, this image of your most ideal self so that your other person doesn't see you for how you really are. Now, there could be a couple of reasons for that. There could be the reason that you feel as though they would not accept you. They might reject you. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. But then my question would be, well, why are you even with them? Because if they're not able to accept you for who you are on face value, you can't build a viable relationship with them like that. That's crazy. Why am I going to hang out with somebody who I can't show who I really am to? Well,
It's the same reason we don't leave the casino when we've lost our money, because we are infatuated with gambling to convince that we can win. So we infatuated with in relationships. We know the relationship is in the toilet, and we didn't see the Lord. We see all the debris in the toilet, and it don't smell good. But we say to ourselves, I'm gonna give me some Fabuloso and pull it in there. It'll be all right. Everything around it, it'll be okay. When we don't be honest and say, this is really not good.
Right.
I don't know how we got here, but it's not good. And if we plan to get out of here, we gotta have some difficult but sensible conversations. Not difficult where we just dilapidate and fall apart and cuss each other out. And that's not going to be fruitful. A sensible conversation to say, you know what, I can see me in this. And I can see how we got here, because I pretty much stopped giving. And I know when I stopped giving, you saw it and it was hurtful to you. Right. So it was not productive to the relationship.
Right.
So having those kind of talks to be able to get through it is better than ignoring it, pretending, and thinking some kind of way that it's just going to work and fix itself by itself.
That doesn't work. And I think too, just on the same vein of the whole honesty conversation that needs to be had, is the fact, now though this might rub some people wrong, what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna need you to put your big boy pants on, put your big girl pants on, because I need you to accept this right here. That if you're being honest about where you are and how you got where you are, you have to admit that you are the cause of the effect. And I don't think really any of us want to really admit that I am the cause of the effect. I'm the one that's making it the way that it is. And here's the thing though, right? And I've gotten to the place, you get older, hopefully you get wiser, hopefully you get a little smarter, you know what I'm saying? I realize that
you're on the right track now.
I realize that there are some things about me, there are some things that cause the effect.
Yes.
I realize that sometimes I'm not always saying or thinking or acting or behaving in the right way that I should, which causes my wife to act in a way that is in response to my cause. So if I want things to be different, if I want things to change, if I'm looking for a transformation within the parameters of the dynamic of our relationships, you guess what? It don't start with her. It starts with this dude right here. Yeah. And it starts with me being honest with myself as to say, okay, get yourself together. What's happening with you right now? You know what I'm saying? And just really getting down to the nitty gritty of how you really are. And it might even mean, Charles, it might even mean, I'm about to say something else that might mess with y'all a little bit. It might even mean I might have to go back to that particular person and apologize for what I did. It might, I might have to go back and say, I'm sorry for the way I acted. I might have to go back and say, I was wrong. I know I messed with some of y'all today. Yeah, you got to say I was wrong. Yeah, you might have to go back and say I was wrong for what I said. I was wrong for what I did.
Are you saying former relationships or what your offenses in your current
I'm
marital
talking about
relationship?
present day. I ain't thinking
Okay,
about
got it. I thought you were
I'm
all
talking
going
about
back.
present
Okay.
day. No. Wait,
Okay.
ain't going back. Ain't doing that. Now you do. Now, if there are some issues, that are still there in your past that are affecting your present, then by all means, feel free to go back and fix it and make it right. But what I'm talking about is here and now, because I think a lot of us, those who are watching, those who are listening, there are a lot of us who have done some things that have affected our partners, that have affected our family, affected our friends, and we haven't had the courage to say, "I'm sorry."
Mm.
And you need to sit, you need to sit with this for a minute and realize and understand that all of us at some point in time make mistakes. All of us at some time we blow it. We don't always do the right thing. Okay. You acknowledge that part of it. Now let's finish it. Let's go back to the people who we hurt, who we injured, who we damaged, who we affected by our cause, and have an honest conversation with them and say, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That my attitude was not right. My perspective on this particular problem was not correct. What I said to you was out of line and out of pocket. I am sorry. I'm not trying to. I ain't trying to put none on nobody. But I think a lot of us need to let down the pride for a minute. Let down the pride for a minute. And fix that thing, man. Fix it.
So here's another side of it I thought about when we were talking, and I was listening to you when you were speaking about, you didn't go deep into depth, but you were talking about your former marriage.
Yeah.
And what I think about, that it made me think about, not necessarily with you, but in general, a lot of us are with the wrong interpreters for our life. And the point I'm making for that is, think about, I remember like being in church and you'll see the pastor preaching, and over here to the right, you'll see the deaf ministry.
Right.
And they're doing, but here's the kicker. They're doing that to those in the audience that's hearing impaired.
Right.
But think about it, what sense does it make for a spouse to be doing hand signs to a spouse that can hear? Right?
Okay.
Or if you're doing hand signs, does your person can they interpret what you're saying or what you're trying to communicate? And I think a lot of times that's the real bottom line of a lot of our issues. We're with people who don't understand us. They don't understand your quirky ways. Maybe you're anal. Anyway, you know
what?
maybe you're difficult, all kinds of stuff, a little strange, all of that. Nonetheless, when you're with the right person, it's funny because they enjoy navigating your ups and downs and ebbs and flows. But when you're with the wrong person, it is a apparent issue because they look at you like you got two heads and they can't stand dealing with you. It's too much. I'm wore out. I'm beat. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. And so even when you're trying to explain yourself, or even if you're being quiet, that person that's the right interpreter, oh, let me leave him alone. He'll be fine. Come back because he need his moment.
Right.
You understand that without sitting there saying, so you're not going to talk to me, keep yelling and screaming. You're just going to take the high road and say, they need a minute and let me step away. And that's part of being a good interpreter. Yeah. So a lot of us just need to know how to better read the rooms of love that we're in. You're in these rooms, but you don't know how to read the room. You don't know how to read the love language of your person. We don't really know, or look, let's just be honest. Sometimes we don't care what your language is. I'm not in the mood to love you.
Okay.
To be honest, we just don't. A lot of times, when you're grown, you know how to activate love like you should, but sometimes we don't. Right. Not only do some of us haven't seen a healthy model of it, we haven't received it. We haven't been touched right. Yep. We haven't been touched beyond intimacy. You know what I'm saying? Something, the touch always got to be intimate. Why
Right.
can't it be a caring touch or a caring hug and all those kind of things? And so you just, you got to make sure when you're with the person that's calling themselves your partner that you can properly translate all things mean.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, you're on to something. You know what's funny? When you first said that, when you just said that a few minutes ago, my mind, of course, automatically went to my current relationship with my wife, Maria. Maria, if you guys don't know, Maria is Mexican. She's from the country of Mexico. Whatever, dude. Whatever. You started this foolishness. You started it. And so for Maria, she grew up speaking Spanish.
Fluently, yeah, that's her
fluent. That's her language, right?
Yeah.
So she moves to the States, and she has to learn a different language. She has to learn English.
Wow.
To be able to communicate with the community that's around her.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that when we get together, and it's interesting because I'm talking to her, she's talking to me. Now we're talking in English. We're talking in English, you know what I'm saying? And every now and then I'll bust out with some Spanish on her or whatever like that.
Oh, right. Okay.
So Spanish on her. But my point in this is we have to have the ability between the two of us to interpret our language. I'm going to give you a really good point. Because she has a very strong Mexican accent, a lot of the words that she says in English are missing some of the phonetic pronunciations that would be present in a person who was born speaking
native speaking it. Yeah.
Native speaking English. I'm about to get in trouble with this. I'm about to get in trouble, but I'm going to tell a story. I'm just making a point. I'm just making. So if I don't show up next week for the show, y'all know what happened. My address is. Listen. So I remember we were out to dinner one day. We were dating, and we were talking about Chicago, and she started talking about, the problems in Chicago, whatever like that, the political scene or whatever. And she said, this is what she said to me. She said, yeah, because I don't understand why the mayor of Chicago is doing what he's doing.
Not the mayor, right?
Right. The mayor. I was like, the major? What major? And in here's the interpreter, Charles. In my mind, it switched. And I realized, she's not saying major.
She's saying
mayor of Chicago. I was like, okay, you're saying them. I clown her every time I get a chance. I'm like, so what's the major doing today? But here's my point. My point is, because I'm in tune with her, my mind interprets what she's saying. Yeah. So now I'm listening to her accurately as to see what she's actually saying.
What she's really meaning.
This, but she's meaning something else. And if my interpreter is not in tune with who she is and what she represents, then I'll miss the meaning of what she's actually saying. A lot of us are in the same predicament. We're in relationships with people who are saying all this stuff. They're saying this, that, and the other. But since our interpreter is not in tune with them, we're misinterpreting what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not catching actually what they're saying. We're listening to their words, but we're missing all of the body language.
Yeah.
We're missing all of the emotional language that they're speaking to us. We're missing all of the nonverbal cues that they're speaking to us because our interpreter is not on point. It's not online. But it's only when we get in tune with one another that we're able to listen, not to the words, not just to the words, rather, but we're listening to the meaning as to what they're saying. This is why I often say when it comes to information that is critical, don't text me something like that. And I say it to my wife. I say, baby, listen, if it's something that's critical or sensitive, don't text it to me because I'm not going to be able to catch your in terms of what you're saying. My interpreter is going to interpret it one way, but you mean it a different way. And the only way that I'm going to catch your meaning is to actually hear you say it out of your mouth. I think a lot of times, a lot of us are just catching text messages without understanding what they actually mean in their tone.
Mm.
Our interpreter is offline. It's not catching it like it should be catching it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's important that we are communicating on the same level, that we are understanding each other on the same level, and that we are interpreting with accuracy what the person is actually saying to us.
But you know what we have a habit of doing
What's that?
that's so ineffective is we have like most people in relationships, rather than taking the effort to understand their partner, they will criticize their partner in comparison to a former partner that did not work, rather.
Wow.
Didn't work. Whether it's a marriage or relationship, it didn't work. But then let's just say if you having a conversation, let's just say if you and Maria was talking about that mayor major thing and she got mad and thinking it is major, whatever the case is.
Right.
And we're like, well, Wayne would have never said that. He thought it was fine too. So instead of us saying, thank you for showing me major, I didn't understand it that way.
Right.
Get mad and say, you just don't understand me like person X.
Okay.
That accepted my dysfunction or loved me so much that they didn't care how much I mistreated them, right?
Mm.
So when you get called out, rather than making the corrections, we hit back. And so that's why I think most of us, like I said, nowadays, we don't, again, all roads lead to us not taking ownership.
Yeah.
We just refuse to take ownership and we refuse to be seen as the problem. It's always going to be you.
Always the other person.
It's going to be me. And so that's a big part of it. But like you said, you go, I mean, some people are in this world would just faint. Some would faint. Some would melt with tears. Some would run to their person with a hug. If somebody's person walked in the door or picked up the phone and said, you know what? I have not been right to you, right? I know that we're both not perfect.
Right.
I have sat back and realized how I mistreated you, whether it is mental abuse, whether I was lying to you, stepping out on you, whatever the case. Being honest and owning up to what that is will go a long way rather than playing the long game, blaming you didn't do it wasn't me, it was you. That just doesn't do anything for anybody.
Right.
And here's the thing: it's a waste of time and energy to invest in petty.
Oh yeah.
You could be doing so much more with your life rather than investing in petty. Like, why do all that for? Like, whether it means I'm gonna withhold. I'm not going to give as much. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to show up. All of what does that win in today's society? Nothing. Because we live in a world where no one has to be withheld from anything.
Yeah, that's true.
You can reach out and dial and touch and get what you lack.
What you want, yeah.
So this is why if we are in relationships that we care about or care to keep them going, you got to put in the work to try.
Yeah.
Right? If you care. If you don't care, then keep doing what you've been doing. But if you care, you got to put in the work to try.
Yeah. I mean, the hope is that you do care. Because if you don't care, why are we even together? You don't care about me. You treat me in any kind of way. I mean, I think some of us have been in enough relationships to have been in a relationship where we were the person who cared the most, and then the other person didn't care at all.
At all.
They were just using us for what they wanted to use us for. We were good for a good time, but we weren't good enough to be with them all the time. So, yes.
And look, the answer to your question is also the reason why we are in relationships in some cases that we know we can see the front and the back door, right? The reason we remain is selfishness.
Okay.
Some people are not ready to walk away. They want to, but they're not ready.
Okay.
And the right opportunities have not presented themselves to make them comfortable to walk away. I've seen situations where people have been together, pitting heads and fussing and just downright miserable. But they keep saying, I'm just going to keep on trying to figure this out with this person. But the minute a viably great candidate presents themselves and start all of a sudden, you really beautiful. I don't know how that guy didn't see all of this. You understand? Or whatever those things. Now you ready to come back and have the conversation. You know what? I need to live my best life and love me and put me first. Fellas, whenever y'all hear that, that's what that means. But anyway, no, I need to love me and put myself first. That means, sucker,
God.
And somebody else in the front. But make a long story short, I'm just saying, when we say these things, we always, it's like we using each other. If it's not working, just say it's not working.
Right.
Don't wait for that person to tell you. Don't wait for them to leave, or don't wait for them to do something to give you a reason. If it don't work, it don't work.
It don't work.
We just have this way of saying, well, I'm going to ride it out. That just means I'm going to continue to siphon from this until it's opportunistically convenient for me to leave. That's what it is. And so we're not honest with that part of it, but that's what it is.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm just in my head. I'm just more, I guess, solution oriented, and because I don't like sitting in problems that I know that I can do something about. I'm not the complainer. I'm not the murmurer. I'm the person that wants to get something done. If this is a problem, if this is an issue, you know what I'm saying? And here's the thing though, Charles. So it doesn't even have to be a problem that I see. Maybe it's a problem that you see.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't complain to me. Don't murmur to me. I'm not the guy. I'm gonna come with a solution. Now there are moments in time when I will, I'll let you vent. You can vent. You know what I'm saying? You can say you need to get it off your chest. Get it off your chest. You okay? That's fine. But after a while, if you keep coming to me with the same problem over and over again, I'm gonna be like, okay, listen. What we're not gonna do?
Keep on murmuring over this.
Going around this mulberry bush when we know we got the answer. And you know what the answer is. Let's make a move on it. Let's pull the trigger on it. Let's make it happen. What we doing? You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times we get in these relationships and we become so, I guess, comfortable is the word I want to, really complacent, really kind of like lackadaisical, lethargic in these relationships where we kind of go, well, it ain't that bad.
Yeah.
If you say it's not that bad, then maybe it is that bad.
Yeah, it really is.
Maybe you need to take a moment to reassess your current situation and actually start going, well, maybe I need to make a move. Maybe I need to make a change. And here's the thing, though, Charles. A lot of us don't like change. We don't want to change. We are fine with the routine the way that it is, rather than having to change. But if you want something better, you got to get up and you got to go get it. And that definitely pertains to your relationships. You want something better in your relationship, you can't sit here and expect somebody else to do it for you. You get up and do something about your relationship. If it means you got to go have an uncomfortable conversation with your other, then go have an uncomfortable conversation with your other. Do what you got to do. Wow. Stop sitting around here belly aching over stuff that you're not willing to make a move on. You just want to sit there and you want to have a pity party and you want to post online. He didn't do this and she didn't do that. And why are we here? And we're not, man, come on. Ain't nobody got time for that foolishness, yo.
What did you say, Maria? I said he still thinks it's Maya. It's major. Don't worry about our fellow. Maria said she's waiting for the right time to get you back.
Oh, she about to meet you where you going. Keep on playing. Keep on playing. She about to meet you.
No, but seriously, that's good stuff, man. It's like we really do got to get to the place where we just, like I said, I think a lot of our arguments or disagreements, rather, let's not say arguments, our disagreements will go a lot further the more willing we are to turn the mirror on ourselves,
Yeah,
as opposed to shining it on the other person.
yeah,
We know we have a lot of onus in the development or lack thereof of our relationships. We know what we do a lot of and what we do not that much of. We already know it, but we refuse to, hold the ball and say it was me, it was I. We're gonna say it was you. So we gotta, work on that part, because this whole, like I said, this whole petty reaction and to me, it's just an excuse to be like a pouting kid. To say, well, you did that, and that's why I did this. We did this game when we were 7 and 8 years old.
Right.
So why are we still doing this as adults?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm not saying an action can't wound or hurt or disappoint,
Right.
but address it rather than turning around and being reactive in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it instead of doing all that. You know what I mean?
I mean, you gotta. And again, I think we are living in an age where we just don't want to look at ourselves for who we really are. Yeah. I mean, just think about it. We take pictures of ourselves and then put it through a filter process when we change the way the picture looks.
Yes.
The way we want it to look, instead of having it look the way that it actually is.
We don't like that.
We don't want to see ourselves for who we actually are. And I'm telling you, it's not until you see yourself for who you actually are. Listen, how many of y'all in the morning go into the shower and you haven't looked at yourself in the mirror in the morning time? That's probably one of the most vulnerable moments you'll have on a daily basis. You ain't got no clothes on, but you standing right in front of that mirror looking at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Is to look at us in terms of how we really are. Not how you want everybody else to see you as, not even how you see yourself as.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of our self-images are completely unrealistic and they don't look like us.
Yeah.
We need to strip it all the way down until we look like us. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay. You can't always hit every T and dot every I. It's okay. Because why? You're a human being. You're not perfect. You've got flaws. All of us got flaws. Okay? All of us have imperfections. We just need to be able to acknowledge what we've done. Because again, like I said earlier on, a lot of us are the cause of the problem. And we don't want to admit that to ourselves or to the other person.
Yeah. This is the peer pressure of the day. We should do a show called Filtered, because the world is down filtered. Nobody is in the raw no more.
Yeah.
Everything is on steroids. Like you said, from the videos to the pictures to our presentation.
Yeah.
Men have their presentation filters. The ladies go out and get their filter presentations. Everything is filtered. And so we've lost that. I feel like we've lost that ability to embrace our true inner self. Now we feel as though the world is too judgmental and peer-driven, pressure-driven, to stand out by yourself just as you are. It takes a brave person to be not needing to have the pressure to follow the trends or let me do this and be like them. To stand alone is brave. Because nowadays, everybody, if you look at a lot of the men and women, it almost looked like we had a very large Ford plant in Detroit on a conveyor belt. Everybody looks like they are mass produced. The women look the same. The hair look the same. The body created look the same. The men are now, they look like, they're getting all the, whatever it is, all the hair, everything is the same. And no one is daring to be different. Everybody has to be in alignment with the, with the trends, because I don't want to be named a lame or a corny. That's where you are. Nowadays, if you're not in the matrix, you're corny, you lame.
Yeah.
So it's like, so people go broke and go get depressed and mentally warped because they expend themselves trying to stay in the know and in the relevancy. And
Wow.
so that's a lot of pressure to do that. You know what I mean? Rather
No.
than it makes you deflect on your partners, you mad with your partner because you didn't get your hair done. You couldn't get this and this didn't come in. Oh, I ain't going nowhere because I don't look right. If they love you, they should love you as you are, right? So we feel like if I'm not presenting myself in the most expected way, I'm not going to show up.
Wow.
So that's where we are today. So
wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I just had a thought in my head about the fact that a lot of times I think we we're the cause of a lot of things in our own relationships because of the fact that we aren't the way that we want to be. And we create a lot of problems because we want it to be the way that we want it to be, not the way that it actually is. But it's not until we actually come to grips with the fact that it is the way that it is, and you have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You got to, if you're going to change it, then you can't change it based off of your imagination. You can't change it based off of some nonfiction, some fiction story. You got to change it based off of what's actually there. You know what I'm saying? And not try to gloss over it. And here's the thing though, right? So I can appreciate when I'm in relationship with people and we are able to speak to each other in a very honest way, in a very truthful way. I don't have a whole lot of friends. I don't have a whole lot of friends. I have a few friends,
definitely understandably, but go ahead.
You know what, dude? Like I said, the name is about us. The name is about us.
No, go ahead.
Well, I appreciate the fact that being in relationships, often you don't always, I think you said it earlier, about always having to agree on everything. Or having disagreements. And I have come to realize that it's okay to not agree. Yeah. It's okay to have a disagreement and not to see the same thing as the person next to you, but to see it differently. Because in our diversity, we're able to do it even better than it was before because we are different. And we're not going to see it the same way. We should see it differently. You know what I'm saying? And I think we just need to be honest with who we actually are. I think we spend so much time, and I think I might have said this before, we spend so much time on the outside. We spend so much time dressing up, putting on makeup, putting on hair, putting on finger. And I've already said before in time, and I will continue to say that. I'm not against you looking good. Absolutely. You should look good. Look the best you can possibly be. Do what you got to do, man. Do it. Okay? But when you have spent so much time and investment in resources on your physicality, what you're wearing, how you're looking, and you spend literally no time on your personal attitude, you spend no time on your own self-image in terms of how you see, you spend no time on developing the intangibles that are internal to who you actually are as a person. Because believe you me, it's not so much about what you look like on the outside as much as how you look on the inside that a person is going to be able to detect for who you really are. You're spending an inordinate amount of time on all of the outside stuff just to take a picture to post online to get likes.
Or video.
Charles, so that we feel better about who we really are. When in fact, we should spend more time on the inside of who we are and getting the inside fixed up. You don't need a like for that. You don't need nobody to give you a thumbs up for that. All you need is to know is that you're better than that. You know what I'm saying? Just because you see me on the Instagram and you see me here on Facebook, you have no idea of how I really am. All you see is a picture of the outside, but you don't see a picture on the inside. That's where the real work takes place. This is where we really need to focus our attention on. This is where real truth and real honesty comes into play. Because at the end of the day, you can't lie to yourself. I mean, I know you do lie to yourself,
Yeah.
but who are you really fooling? Really?
Yeah. But this is the reason for so much dissatisfaction in relationships, because the era of social media and all of this, it causes us to poach love from a secret and a mysterious pedestal rather than meeting a person in real time and in real life,
Right.
and leading with your truth rather than leading with your facade.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody's like, oh, it's pee in the dating pool. Oh, it's terrible out here. It's trash. It's trash because of where and how you are engaging.
Yeah.
If you're engaging behind it, if all of your last 10 dates have come out of the DMs, that's why.
Wow.
Trash portals are trashy.
Okay.
And it's like we're meeting people the wrong way. And you're thinking, because you got to understand, any person that invests in DM love is they do this 365 days a year. And it's not just your inbox.
Right.
They invest in poaching who they can pick. You look good. You look, oh, you thick. Oh, wait a minute. And they do this all day, every day. And that's how they get all their dates, all their bed mates, all from online, whether it's online dating, whether it is somebody's DM, whether it is whatever the case is, that's what we do. And so this is why people keep getting the trash results. You meet the person, they take you way up above elevation. Oh my God, you are so this, that, and other. Then all of a sudden, bam, in the bed. All right, this is what I really am. I'll let you. So it's like it's a 1-2 trick. And so we gotta get to the point where we are grown enough to own you are part of this problem, because you don't have to go up in the hot air balloon with them.
Right.
You I prefer to stay down here on the ground, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You don't got to go on no rides with no one that you don't want to go on. But if you say, I'm ready to go on this ride, take responsibility of the outcome.
Yeah.
Don't get mad when it just ends up one way and it didn't work like you thought.
Right.
Just be honest with yourself. I played into it, so I play a part of it.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's real talk. And I just, I don't think we can say it enough in terms of us just being straightforward with all this, man. Honestly, if I'm the reason why, then I'm willing to admit that I'm the reason why. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I think we need to really grow up and mature, be big boys, be big girls.
That's it.
You know what? I'm the reason why this is happening. Let me do some restitution. Let me bring some reconstruction and some restoration to this particular situation, so it can get better and not just stay the way that it is at the end of the day.
And like you said, stop wasting energy on petty.
Yeah.
And use that emotion to something positive for yourself.
Yeah.
If you got it's negative energy does not do good for the soul. It just doesn't. And when you constantly, there are people who master petty. They live for it. And it's so detrimental to them internally, but they don't see it that way. But they just live for the ability to, I got you, clap back. Oh, guess what? I got you. Don't worry about it. That's like, that is so counterproductive.
It is.
Be productive. Don't waste your life being petty, because the 10 petty get backs could be 2 positive steps towards what you really need in your life.
Right.
So spend your time wisely with people worth spending it with. Not wasting your time with these petty wars, people that are committed to being in a petty war with you. It makes sense. Yeah.
It don't matter, right? At the end of the day, petty is petty all day long. You don't get paid for being petty. You don't get famous for being petty. You don't get an award for being petty.
But it's a self-award. I'm telling you, petty is a self-award. Petty is the only award that we reach in our closet and get our own badge and put it on us. Because we say, I'm petty and I'm good at it.
and guess what? You in that room by yourself giving yourself an award for being petty. Because don't nobody hang around a petty person at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Take
No,
your
this was
petty
good.
stuff on down the street somewhere. Bye.
Yeah, like you said, don't like you said. All the energy that we waste trying to match energy could be energy that we harness to make us better people.
Yes.
Instead of wasting our time on all this stuff, it's just a waste of time.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Appreciate all of y'all for hanging in there today, Brother Bruce. We got Pastor Jason Henderson on it. All the people that Marlena, all the people that come and spoke. We appreciate y'all. We see we got the usher, Sister Keisha. She was on there too. All right. But anyway, nonetheless, we appreciate y'all for tuning in today as we talked about the cause and effect. Basically, that's the reason why we are where we are in these relationships. We refuse to fix, but we are willing to fight. So we got to learn to be better. Don't fix. Let fix go before fight instead of fight before fix. And we'll be better in our relationships, and move on from there. Another week of Unique Perspectives, Love Talk Radio down in the books. And we will see you guys next week, same time, same channel. Unless, now, soon enough, we will do a little bit of a shift on our time, but I'll keep you guys posted so that we can have things in the best way that we need to have them. All right. On that note, yeah, somebody want to make up a whole song. Anyway, so
don't be petty, bro. Don't be petty.
Don't be petty. No, this is good, man. Like I said, stay tuned. We are trying to near the end of the finishing things with this book. So on that note, let's have a quick open conversation. That was so funny. So the other person that's doing the formatting, right?
Yeah.
They call themselves. I didn't even bother you with it, right? Because they were like, "Oh, look, it's finished." I went in there, and the book was inverted. You were first, I was second, and then they had asked me earlier for my dedication portion. You know, part where I went the little part about my son, right? Yeah. So I put that in there, but then I looked. So that's in front of your part. I said, "Hey, just hold on, pause for a minute. Let's take a deep breath." I said, and it took all. I felt like you the other week. I was like, but I said, let me just go around and give them the right instructions. And I was like, this is how it should be formatted. And I said, remember, I sent you the example from the other situation. Right. Use that as your template to be creative. And I see now. All right, so okay. Get it together. We can't wait to get to the end to be irritated. And then we got to add some more. We have to reserve some spaces for the forewords.
Right.
We were actually fortunate enough to get some buy-in from two amazing brothers.
Okay.
Bishop Zimmerman and Pastor Hendrickson.
Cool.
So they signed off on doing their forward. So that's amazing. All right. So we look forward to all those great things. And this should be a good, really good book when it's all said and done.
Yeah, when we finally get it. But anyway.
Basically, yes. All right. We will see you guys next time.
I ain't trying to be petty. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to be petty. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Yo, dude.
Yes.
What is happening right
Somebody's
now?
in the doghouse. Somebody's in the punishment zone for all things book. Just wait on them.
I'm not in the punishment. You said you had. Look, on live. We still live. You said.
All right. I'll speak to y'all soon, dude.
Oh my God.